as you know, the city council approves these bills, etc. Then it has to go to the mayor. And even after that, it has to get past Mitch McConnell. Yes, absolutely. And then, is this going to be a heavy fight or a real fight? And before we go to you, Judge, I want to introduce our colleague, Latoya Harris. And you've been working, we haven't seen you in a while. Loving My Community. Pull the mic close to you so we can hear you. Loving My Community.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Latoya Harris, and I'm from Loving My Community. And for those who don't know what Loving My Community is, it's an organization that I got started back in 2001. I just had a vision, and I didn't want to be one of them women that just talk and don't act on how we can make a difference in the community. So Loving My Community is pretty much just taking a stand against any type of violence, street violence, domestic violence. We just put love back in the community. We feed the homeless. We give toys and stuff to the children. We let them explore their talent, whatever talent that could be, if they can rap, sing, dance, whatever it is, just to kind of give them that positive energy. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, coming from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and now I'm in Memphis. So everywhere that I go, I try to take Loving My Community with me, because it's just a passion that I have just to make a difference in these communities, put positive energy back in the community. And I say it a lot. I never want to be one of them women that come in the community once a year, once a month, plant that seed, and I never come back to water it. So I've always wanted to stay focused on wherever I plant that seed at, that's why I want to come back and water that seed, so that it can grow.
Thank you very much. And one more thing about the mask. I see people walking down the street, no one around them or anything, driving in cars by yourself, walking in the park. If you wear a mask constantly, it will damage your lungs. So wearing the mask, be very careful and moderate when you wear the mask. And so now, again, 901-452-3094. Give us a call at 901-324-7490. And Judge Joe Brown, are you there? And are you raring to go as usual? Yes. Okay. Well, that sounds good, and that makes good sense. Hold on. This technique of breathing while you're wearing the mask, a little about that, sir. phone. You can set your phone up on Facebook. Yes. That's right, 14 days. It's in the bag. Okay. An extra pen. I did. Yes. All right. Isaac, do we have, what line is the judge on?
He's on the 452-094 line.
Okay, so we have the 324 line 901 is open right now.
Correct.
Okay, so we can use that line for callers. Give us a call with your question and comments. And Latoya, can we have Facebook on your phone live for questions and comments as well? All right, we got Judge Omar Baruti has joined us. And and Omar, on this these vaccines, the material, I haven't had a chance to go through all of it, but it's explaining how vaccines work. I don't, are they lying to us, the people who write this stuff, the experts and all of that? when they say there's no monkey made from no monkeys, no animals, no monkey plasma, and all of that. The material that you brought me yesterday, though I haven't gone through all of it, is not saying anything about that. But I hear people discussing this stuff like that, made from monkey plasma, etc. So is that true? And are the vaccines, from what we can see, made from, that makes Omar laugh, made from monkey plasma? Is that right? And are these people lying? What I hear from some of the people who oppose all of this stuff is that we are being lied to. Tell us about it, Omar.
I want the listening audience, I want to thank you for listening in, because our job is to help wake people up. You have to realize that you live in America, a country built on lies. The Indians said we had over 10,000 treaties with the white man, and he broke every one of them. He lied over 10,000 times. And he is a man that will lie in a heartbeat. So we don't know if he's lying or not.
Okay.
We need to have our own scientists in on this so we can get the truth from our own scientists who will give their life for the truth. And right now we don't know what they're making it out of. We have no clue. Now if it's going to heal you and it's made out of monkey, then good. It's going to heal you. But it's going to cause some other damage, some hidden damage, hidden medical issues. Then we need to go get the perpetrators and hang them with the monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know what America's doing. We need some scientists in that field that can do it for us. We look at people in our own best. Right now, the jury is still out. We do need something, and I firmly believe, my background is in biology, my degree is in biology. I love biology, but my firm belief is that America has, or somewhere in this world, that virus is a created virus. It was somewhere synthesized in a laboratory and put out there into the world. If you go and get a book called A Higher Form of Killing by an author, Paxman and his partner Harris, they talk about biological warfare and the things America has done in the laboratory to make biological weapons. Some of the scientists that Hitler used during the Holocaust, America brought them to this country to make biological weapons. They didn't go to prison. They were brought to this country and put in place as scientists to make those same biological weapons for this country. So America is very familiar with biological warfare. Just like HIV is a created virus. Go and read about Dr. Robert Gallo, a created virus, and it's still here today. They tamed it down, but they made it in a laboratory. So Ebola, Lowell University has a patent on the Ebola virus. What you know with a patent on something unless you made it?
Absolutely. That's good logic. That's good logic right there.
A country government that's based on lies. When you go and do the background on Judge Brown, you go do the background, this is where it came from.
Right. Hold on a minute, Judge. Hold on. We got some people watching. Don Carter, Jeanette McClendon, Ebony, and Talisha Taylor on Facebook. You may type your questions or comment on Facebook, and Ms. LaToya will let us know. And Cedric, if there's any questions popping up on this phone, let us know, questions or comments. And before Judge started talking, Omar was talking. Omar, go ahead and finish your point. Yes,
we got LaTroy's here.
We've got LaTroy Williams
He's here.
in the lobby there. All right. Full house today. Go ahead, Omar.
The point I want to make is that we live in a country that's built on lies and deceit. We need our own people at the top doing what we need to do to protect ourselves. And right now, I don't know if we have that. It just makes a good point.
Yeah, well, Judge always makes some good points scientifically. But let me, hold on, Judge, hold on. I'm about to make a point. I think we should be suspicious of the United States government. And yes, I said it. And why? I will tell you why. Remember the Tuskegee experiment?
Absolutely.
But hold on. What about Richard Rothstein's book? She's not gonna hate. She knows about this information. Discrimination against black people, African Americans, if you will, especially in housing. Blatant racism. So this is why we talk about being critical thinking. This whole idea of critical thinking. And there's nothing wrong with what the judge is saying. But Omar, you wanted to, he's absolutely right. But we are looking at this thing critically. Go ahead, Omar, and finish your point. We'll go back to the judge when you finish, Omar. Go ahead.
Just you have a few people saying hello. They're a big fan of yours.
All right, people saying hello to the judge. Judge Joe Brown, big fans of yours, Judge. But let Omar finish first. Oh, you do? Okay, go ahead.
You know, Robert Kennedy came to a Nation of Islam Savior State meeting a few years ago. And he was talking about the mercury in the vaccines that our children was receiving. And he said this mercury was causing our children to have autism. Even though the Center for Disease Control said it was safe, Robert Kennedy said that there are secret papers inside the CDC that said it was not safe. It shouldn't be used. But we know they lied. That's obvious. There was a big headline in the British newspaper some years ago when AIDS was at its peak. And what the headline said was that the World Health Organization may have spread AIDS in Africa. And what they had done is gone into Africa, into those small villages that didn't have medical treatment, medical facilities, and they gave these people smallpox vaccinations. And everywhere they went with smallpox, those people got AIDS. And that's why you look at it, it said it was a gay and lesbian disease, IV drug user disease. But these people, they're like gays and lesbians, and they don't use IV drug. They kind of about overbreed. But again, AIDS was going everywhere. You had villages, whole villages, where all the adults were dying and the children were left orphaned. But they had HIV. And that's when they came up with this theory of a green monkey was somewhere in the picture.
Right.
So it's not just HIV, it's not just gay and lesbian and IV drugs, there's also a green monkey involved. And the one that told that lie had to retract it on video. He retracted it. But again, this is a world of white folks that will lie to you every time they open their mouth. Donald Trump is just the epitome of lies, but the whole family of them will lie, and they do lie every day.
Well, I will say this, Judge. I remember, I'm 72 years old, and I remember, I think I ordered a lot of stuff when I was 5 and 6 years old. I don't remember. But I remember as children, we used to look at each other's arm and say, did you get the vaccination? Used to leave a little spot on you, whatever, and I think I've got one on my right arm somewhere. But I remember rickets, smallpox, the mumps, all kinds of stuff, cholera, dysentery, and all that. And so this is a view that we should take into consideration, I think, and that you don't see that stuff anymore. So is it because of modern medicine, Omar, or does it mean as a society we've made progress in those areas in terms of disease, sickness, health, illness, and preventing all of this stuff? Contrast and compare for me, please, sir. Omar.
When you look at this country, right now, Donald Trump is saying don't wear a mask, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because it's killing us.
Okay.
What better way could you commit genocide?
Yeah.
Even if some of them have to go with us, it's still killing us. And if the other thing we already had wasn't killing us, then, you know, you would be a world different. But we have to change. We have to fix our own situation.
True.
And we can't trust anything they tell us. We need a committee. And my cousin keeps talking about that committee. You know, the African American Family Council, where we can have come together and we can examine everything that affects us, so that nothing that comes at us are we surprised about. We're ready for it, to defend against it, and do whatever we got to do to knock it down. Even my friend Judge talking about, you know, guns and how we need to defend our own home against somebody coming and attack us. I don't agree with pistols, because right now, those pistols right there are killing us left and right. But I'm not going over with a shotgun or right now.
Absolutely. Now that's a good, hold on, Judge, I want you to say something about what I said. What I spoke about the difference between a long time ago, how we got well, you don't see all that stuff anymore, and now we're talking about another virus that needs to, something needs to be done about it. I'm all in favor of the committee. Committees, period. You know why I'm in favor of committees? Because we're never going to have total 100% unity among black people, and that is why we need committees. We need committees. We need to set up a government, and a government is set up based on committees that are effective. All right, so Judge, 2 points. Go ahead, sir. 2 points. And it was proven that seat belts save lives. When people were railing against that, and it became proven that seat belts save lives. And one other point you just made, Judge, the Constitution is written in very broad terms and sometimes vague terms. And that's why you were able to make that assessment right there. Go ahead. They look like they were 45s also. Weren't they 45s? Oh, okay. Okay. All right, well, what about black people protecting themselves? And let me go back to Ahmaud Arbery. What kind of weapon should he have had armed himself with so that these killers would not have killed him? I've got another case I want to ask you about as well. Oh! Right. So this is in terms of protecting ourselves as a people. This is an age-old motto. Be careful. I remember when I was a young man walking around, very young, all over in Orange Mountain, all over South Memphis. I was probably selling jewelry rings or something. I just run across these two brothers I knew from Orange Mountain, and we would have these conversations. Even back then, and when we would part company, they would say to me, be very careful. I want to go back to you, Omar. Judge said he's not with you on the pistol thing, in terms of black folk protecting themselves. Go ahead, sir.
Let's talk about the pistol thing.
Okay, yes.
America's murder rate this year is 30% higher than last year. Last year, 18 children were killed the whole year. This year, through July the 4th, 18 have already been killed this year.
Now, Omar, did you know about the thing in Mississippi at the Yo Gotti concert?
I read about
5
that.
people shot and killed. This is crazy.
Let's go further.
Let's go further. Let's go further.
There are
Take us there.
847 million guns on the earth, pistols on the earth,
And 46% of them are here in this country, only 5% of the world people live. But they have 847 million guns, and 5% of the people in this country own most of those guns, 46% of them. Think about this. Japan is a country about the size of California. 127 million people, nobody has a pistol. Even the policeman, leave the police station, the pistol stays at the police station. You can own a rifle or a shotgun, but you got to lock the bullets up in one part of your house and the shotgun in another part. You cannot own a pistol because they don't have a store that will sell you a pistol. If you get one, then you're in violation of the law. Let's go further. The murder rate in Japan last year was 12. 127 million people, 12 people got killed last year. And the year before. Go to the country of Iceland, which is about half the size of the city of Memphis. 347,000 people. One murder. One murder in 8 years. The mindset of this country is crooked.
The mindset, you're absolutely
If nobody
right.
has a
Yes.
pistol, nobody has one, you can decrease the crime because then you got to carry a shotgun or a rifle, and then you can see who's coming down the street with one.
We got a caller on line 2.
Let me get right.
Got a
Call-
caller.
Caller on line 2. Go ahead, caller. Yes, we have you on the line. Go ahead, Melvin Walker. Yes. Yes. Well, today we are talking about 3 things. And what we probably should do, Melvin Walker, is discuss that next week so that we can remain consistent. So, today we've got 3 things we're looking at. We are talking about vaccines, viruses, etc. We're also talking about gun violence and how black people protect themselves using some of the young black men who've been killed. And we hope we get time to say something about reparations. We've got about 41, 42 minutes left, and we've got people on Facebook and people in the studio and 3 on the panel, me as the moderator. So let's do those 3, Melvin. Go ahead. Let's wrap up the virus thing first and then go to gun violence and then reparations. Go ahead, Melvin. So quickly, what are your thoughts on wearing masks and etc.? Okay. Yes. 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 Yeah. Okay. Well, let's close, Omar and Judge, let's close on the virus for right now. We've got 40 minutes left. And we have started talking about guns, gun violence. I want to leave some time to talk about reparations. And I'm raising the question about how we protect ourselves using the example of Ahmaud Arbery, and then we had Rayshard Scott, whatever his name was, in Atlanta. So it got down to guns, pistols, and etc. And the one point that I do like is that, number 1, be careful. That's even with the virus and catching the cold, anything else. Be careful where you go, who you are around, and how you carry how one carries oneself. And go ahead, Melvin Wall. Yes. Okay. Let me ask you this, Melvin. Let me ask you this. How do we as a society get to that point? What you just said. Get to a point. You just said that we have to make a determination in terms of how we get to the point of making the decision as to whether or not I'm paraphrasing, of course, balance in this society, taking away guns from the few, and then allowing other few people who are committing these atrocious crimes to have them. How do we get to the point of balance? I'm sorry. Hold on, Mel. What did you say?
Let him finish his point. That's not what I said.
Huh?
What he's saying is not what I said, but let him finish his point.
Okay, go ahead, Mel. Right. That is true. That is true. Now, what about theft? Naima Latif, you may or may not know. Bianca knows her. We've been on her show together. She was in Japan. Either she or someone left their phone on the train there or whatever, 24 hours, rode around the country or whatever. He came back, the phone was still there. And look, I've left umbrellas. I've left small things on buses and never saw that stuff again. So I think the point he's making is that in some of these countries there is less crime. But you're right, because on that London Bridge, they were committing crimes, violent crimes, with a knife. So I don't know about... Sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Right. Right. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. Right, got you. Now, Omar said something about, when we were talking about these killings, we're talking about the mindset. Even at the Yo Gotti concert, where there were all black people, and 5 people got killed. I saw the video. I think the Judge Joe Brown sent me the video. And man, I thought it was something on TV. I said, wait a minute, what is this? Boom, 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 boom. 5 people dead. Omar said it's the mindset. Now, on the other hand, Melvin, you have white people I wanted to make that point earlier, running around looking for Ahmaud Arbery's of the world to chase them down and shoot them and kill them. Again, we're talking about mindset. And then you see white men, and you can tell they have guns and pistols and they're ready to shoot and kill the black person. The Jordan brother that got killed, they were playing the music. The white man shot, killed 2 or 3 of them, and he said, I feared for my life because, listen, they were playing loud music. The mindset. Since you called in, Melvin, I'm glad you called in. I'm going to give you time to address a couple more points, and I'm going back to my regulars, and you may stay on the line if you choose to. Say something about the mindset, Melvin. Okay. Okay, now you said two things. You said probably, and you may be right when you say probably. No, I don't. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying probably is not a definite word. Then you said the individual people, and what about these? And that's, we see them on TV. I guess they're militia or they're some kind of group or organized people, and they're not. And you're right. Some of them are individuals. The husband and wife who came out and pulled their guns, the big AK, AR, they were individuals. But yes. You and I do, yes. I hear you. Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point, because in this city right here, in Memphis, there are lots of young black men, many of them who are working. I see them working on jobs. Then a report came out a while back that many young black men are working. They're not all, this is media stuff, negative propaganda. They're not running, all of them are not running around out here shooting and killing people, so you're absolutely right. But now I'm reading and I'm seeing, Melvin, lots of these militia people also. Now, the exact number, I don't know. You said it's a small number. We don't know about that right now, but we can continue to have these conversations. We can continue to examine. Now, yes. Okay. point well taken. I'm not saying it's a representation of the norm. I'm just saying that this is out there and is taking place. And I think you, huh?
Got another call.
We have another go. Hold on, because I want to come back to you as we get into reparation. We've got Kokayi and Jamu. Kokayi, go right ahead. We've got right at 30 minutes left. Let us move with the quickness. Go ahead, Kokayi. The mindset. Now, when you say we, I'm assuming you're talking about black people. Hold on, Kokayi. Hold on, Kokayi. Cedric, can you check that humming? Can you do anything about that humming noise, that sound? But keep talking while Cedric's troubleshoots. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Oh, okay, Okay. But the judge and I we've been educating on proper use of the mask every Sunday for the last, I don't know how long, so. Sure.
All right, Kokayi, I'm gonna stop you, Kokayi. Hold on. Hey, listen, you guys, hold on. Hold on, stop talking. We have limited time now. We have 25 minutes left. All right, so let's switch to reparations. Let's talk about reparations. I want LaToya to say something else. We've got LaTroy Williams here. I want him to say something else. So, and Cedric and some other people may want to say something. We're short on time. Let's move further with the quickness. Back to Melvin Walker. Melvin Walker, I'm treating you as a special guest today, and I appreciate your courage, because we've had some real duke-outs on Facebook for calling in today. I appreciate that and respect that you called in today. So, under reparations, you're a well-read man, and you read all of this information coming out. You saw, I think it was in North Carolina, and I think it's going to be state by state, where North Carolina approved a bill on reparations. So my question, is this a stalling tactic for black folks? Is this a trick? Because we know it goes to city council first, then it has to go to the mayor, and will it get past Mitch McConnell? Go ahead, Melvin Walker. Yeah. Yes. Okay, I think that's a good point for Judge Joe Brown to come in on. Come in on that, Judge. Somewhere around there. Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. We got another call, Judge. We got another call.
Yeah, special caller on the phone, and this person makes our spell. Go ahead, call your name.
Go ahead. Yes.
Hey, man.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Oh, I see you on the
Hey, let's go back to, hey, Judge, you didn't finish your point. Take 3 minutes and that'll put us a little past 11:15 and let us move with quickness. You were making a point, Judge. Go ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
you're dead mentally in that regard using that logic, Judge. But I want to come in, yeah. That's true. That was pure stupidity at that that concert over there. Yeah. And Judge, I wanted to comment on something Melvin Walker said, and he made a great point. That a lot of these people running around here with guns, and we've known this for a long time, are not equipped to be running around carrying guns. They've not been trained. They've not been trained. They don't go to the rifle range. They don't know how and when to shoot and not to shoot. Very emotional. Having a squabble over something petty, 10 cents, $5, or whatever it is. Huh? Act like, wait, be careful. Now be careful when you say they act like women. I almost joined you on that, but I caught myself before I said that. But listen, hey man, hey Jeff, what about this? Now wait a minute, wait.
They try to sneak it in.
They try to run for Congress, man.
They try.
Detroit. What you gonna do about that? Get in there.
Hey, wait a minute, hey Judge, this one, I gotta hit you with one, Judge. This one is better than yours, Judge. Hold on, Judge. Hold on. It's right. But this one is better than yours. How about going out committing a robbery and run home and get on the grandmama's bed?
That part.
Now, let me I want to go to Omar. Omar, go ahead. What have you heard thus far?
I've heard a point that has not been expressed. One is that America and the population of the world is brainwashed. If you go back into the day when they had come like I Love Lucy. Lucy's living in one bed and her husband and father slept in another bed with pajamas on. Now they sleep in the same bed as two women but naked. But your mind has been brainwashed to believe that's normal. Back then, men were hiding in the closet they were gay. Now they're sitting on the front porch. And if you see this HIV commercial, you have two black men at the end of that commercial kissing each other.
Yeah.
So when children see that, they get confused about, is that normal? Or is it something I should be running away from? They're being brainwashed. You're brainwashed to believe that the gun is the answer. The gun is not the answer, but you should be brainwashed to believe there's another answer, and we can follow that answer. Whatever they brainwash you to do, that's what you're going to do, because you are being brainwashed. The masses of the people are being brainwashed.
Yes.
You got to change the message in order to change behavior. You brainwash your children. They're learning about, thou should not kill, but you brainwash them to believe that you shouldn't kill and you shouldn't steal. And back in my day, if you did some good stuff like that, you shame your family. Because they were trying to keep you on the path. They could go back and re-brainwash the whole country to believe that handguns should be outlawed. You don't need a handgun. Brainwash to believe gay and lesbian, all that behavior should be. Oh, hold on. Hold on.
Go ahead, Omar. Go ahead, sir.
If your book, as a Christian, says God detested that behavior, killed everybody, and sorry they gonna murder that kind of behavior, then you gonna tell God to go to hell because you don't know what he's talking about? You brainwash them against their own religion. Brainwash is what's got this country in the condition it's in. Not the gun, it's the brainwash and what the gun is for, and how you use that damn gun.
Yes.
We gotta get our brainwash back on track again.
Yes.
And brainwash in a way that's gonna be righteous and holy and good for the people. Get that brainwash back into the face of the people and away from these merchants of death.
And speaking of brainwash, there's a book by Tom Burrell. I think it's one of the first books that we as a people should read. But I won't go into it right now based on the constraints of time. But I want to say something about Naima Latif and her network, The Female Solution. And on one of her shows, attorney Wendy Williams, Delos Esquire, was talking about, the show is about a lot of books sometimes and effects of slavery and all of that. Tom Burrell. And let's get that book, let's read it, examine it.
What's the name of it?
And Brainwashed, the name of it is Brainwashed. So when you see that Brainwashed,
Good book.
yes, it is. So let's grab that. And we've got A little less than 10. Is Melvin Walker still with us?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Let's hear from LaTroy Williams, and when it's time, we'll have some final thoughts, and we'll bring Melvin Walker back in. LaTroy Williams.
And so, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to acknowledge Judge Joe Brown.
Yes.
I have to at all times. And also acknowledge these young people who are sitting next to me. I'm just so happy to see this. I think it's a great thing. I want to say that after accessing the overall apparatus and this particular subject matter, reparations is a mechanism that should be, and someday will be, in the hands of the black community. They deserve that. Black people built this country. Black people have struggled from the cotton fields of Mississippi. They lived through the slums of New York City. They've turned out city council for cities, congressmen of states, mayors of cities, and only a few years away from another president or vice president. But we are the first one in every situation to get fired and the last one to get hired. Every time. We cannot continue to go in the direction that we're going. When we talk about reparations, it reminds me of Black Lives Matter. Now all lives matter, but it's a special thing about the reparation and about Black Lives Matter that coincide with each other. And that means that every black person, not just the one from the service or the one from different places, but every black person has been discriminated against and have been hurt and abridged, diminished, and impaired in the United States of America and abroad. So that's why they're entitled to reparations. They're entitled to it, no matter what. However, we as a people cannot continue to send Bro Rabbit, Sisterhood, and kittens and cats and baboons and hyenas and monkeys into a lion den to deal with a lion. These white businessmen are ruthless. They're like lions. They take no prisoners. You got to put a tiger on his tail. And I'm the tiger we're looking for.
And tell them what you're referring to. 9th Congressional District, the office that is now held by Steve Cohen. Is that right?
I'm a candidate for the 9th Congressional District. Understand that. I'm a candidate for the 9th Congressional District. But over the past 2 years, they have refused and taken me off the ballot for no reason, using the excuse saying that Steve Cohen and the Democratic Party have to spend too much money to defeat M. LaTroy Williams. After we won the case, 2 of our black lawyers was paid money and sold me out. Ricky Wilkinson and J.B. Smiley. They sold me directly out. So we had to turn around and file the lawsuit again and win it. Now, because of the fact that there's a possibility that they may imprison Ricky Wilkinson, J.B. Smiley, and maybe some of the judges too. 14 judges have denied to hear the case. Now it's in the hands of the Supreme Court. And that would in itself should lighten the people up and make them realize they need to run out there, and if they don't see my name on the ballot, and write my name in. Because as Minerva Johnny and Catherine Bowers once said, M. LaTroy Williams can't be bought and can't be sold.
Okay.
So what I'm saying to you is that go out and go vote and write my name in if you don't see it on the ballot. Please do that. Again, the last thing I want to say is that if I'm elected, I'll take the politics away from the politics and bring the politics back to the people as a public servant, the way it should be. So if you want this city to move up quick, run out and pull the lever and write my name in and vote for M. LaTroy Williams and make it stick. Thank you.
Thank you, LaTroy. We've got a little less than 5 minutes, Judge Joe Brown. I'm going to come back to you. Final thoughts. Let's take, I guess, 30 or 40 seconds each and close out today's show. I'll come to Omar Baruti, and we'll give Melvin Walker the honors of closing us out with the final thought. Go ahead, Judge Joe Brown. Yeah. We'll talk more about that going forward.
Thank you, Judge Brown, and may God bless you and
Thank you.
continue to bless you.
All right, Judge, we'll get the clock, Judge. Go ahead, Omar.
I'd like to say that in the country of Japan, they're talking about murder. They don't discriminate between whether it's gun murder or knife murder or whatever kind of murder. And murder is murder. And if you got 12 murders and 127 million people, they say something. We need to study their country. They don't have a militia all in every street corner. They don't do that in Japan. I have a niece that's over there working for Toyota, and they don't. She don't see that in Japan. But then I do want to make this point, and I'm cool with it. Vote early, vote extra early. When the polls open, go vote, so that you won't be there in no crowd with the corona mask on, okay? And make sure you vote for English Troy Williams.
All right. Now, next week, one of the things we're going to start off with is racism, race issues, and all of that. We'll be bringing some documents and contrasting and comparing and all of that stuff. So what it boils down to the rules, regulations, and mores of a particular society. Melvin Walker, final thoughts, sir. Well, we appreciate you calling in today, and join us next week as we get more into racist, who's a racist, who's not a racist, and racism, etc. Melvin Walker, join us next week.
All right, we got the Love Power Show still going on. Say, why don't you say something? You've been here the whole hour and a half, I ain't said a word. What's up with that? Say something, say it.
Just came into town with some folks that's helping out with the pandemic response, and but you know I just want to take up from Troy Williams and the other folks that are here. But if you do want to get some of this assistance with your pandemic response, there's a lot of funds that are available. There's pandemic unemployment, but it's not only for unemployed, it's also for self-employed people. Self-employed people are anybody that's out there hustling and making money, side money, whatever you want to call it, under the table money, that's still self-employment. Unlicensed business is still a business at the end of the day. If you need to know more about it, call the Love Power Show, get in contact with somebody with Love Power, and we can help you on out. Now the unemployment is shutting down the new applications on June the 25th. So, July 25th. And so hurry up and get back to them.
Phone number. You got the phone number. You got the phone number.
Our show is 901-644-0186.
901-644-0186. Give us a call right there on that number. And once again, we thank you, Melvin Walker. Do not forget to join us on next week. And remember,
Go ahead.
manhood, we're about out of time. Stand up for your manhood and demonstrate some, not only courage, but some good damn sense. Come, go ahead, LaTroy. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been fighting for the rights of women for 45 years. I started at Princeton University. And I want to say today, please, go and try to support Ms. Atwater and Ms. State. They have cases that's going on, and they need help. So if you can contribute, that would be a great thing. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you to this Love House Show. And I think early voting has already begun. Detroit, you are on the ballot for the 9th congressional district, right?
Oh, you gotta write my name in, the 9th Congressional District.
You gotta write your name in, okay. All right, we're gonna get
And
more.
don't forget Erica Peterson, Erica Parks, Stark Peterson.
All right, that's LaTroy.
She's at the 8th Congressional District, the
I
8th.
think his son is running as well. I
Yeah,
saw it on there.
my son